Welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy and this is my corner all about cross stitch. If you are new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, welcome back. I am filming this on Monday, June 16th. I skipped yesterday since it was Father's Day today here in the US. So I hung out with my hubby. He got to hang out with the kid for a little bit by himself over Discord, since they live in Rochester, and so I just decided to delay, and I wasn't quite in the right headspace yesterday to film, and I don't have summer school today, so I just moved it back a day. If you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe. I really love hearing comments, and I respond to everyone. If you don't want to comment publicly, sorry, I had an itchy spot. If you don't want to comment publicly, feel free to email me at harpystitch@gmail.com. I am also on Instagram. I am not as good about posting there regularly as I should be. I'm trying to get better at it again, but life has gotten busy, and I just forget to do that part, because I'm usually posting all of my progress to my challenges, and then I forget to do it other places. So let's see what I got. Yes, so the reason I don't have summer school this week, attendance was not as high as they needed it to be. Not all the kids who were signed up showed up, so they had so few kids. Well, I shouldn't say so few. There were still a decent number of kids, but they did not have enough kids to continue funding the pay for all the teachers, so they asked for 5 volunteers to stay home this week, and then they're going to consolidate some classes. So I volunteered. I've got lots to do at the house. I want to get the house super clean over the summer before school starts and I go back to college. There's doctor's appointments that need to be made. I need to sort out my financial aid so I can go back to school. Things like that. Oh, sorry, bumped the tripod. Things like putting some of my old cross stitch patterns up on eBay and doing some de-stash stuff with other things in the house that we don't need. So, I was thinking about going garage sailing today, but it is cloudy outside and it is supposed to be thunderstorms off and on all day. So I think it will be a stay at home and clean day. I get to do laundry. I did do some stretching this morning, which was nice. I've got 2 pieces I need to iron. My Mothra, I did not iron it before. And then my Seductive Kermit, I need to iron that and ship it out to the person who requested it from me. Oh, and I think I bumped something again. It's gonna be that day, and I apologize if it's making me nauseous. But it was a pretty good day yesterday. I will talk about what I've been watching, doing, etc. And yeah, so let's get into the stitchy stuff. So I have another fully finished object. However, again, it is not actually a cross stitch project. It is cross stitch related. So this is one of the ones I cut when I did my Batman bag that was way too big and I just got frustrated. And I had a really pretty turquoise zipper, but it looked good with the stuff on the back, but it did not look good with my shiny blue fabric. So I went and I had the one color zipper I didn't buy when I was at Joann's and everything was super cheap, was a white zipper. So I got one of those at Michael's. This blue fabric is left over from the quilt that I made. And then this I got, I think it was in one of those quarter, fat quarter quilty things. And then this ocean fabric. We are huge fans of like sea animals in this house. Sea turtles, sharks, octopi, especially sea turtles. And I had this was a charm I got at Michael's. And I had it on another project bag, but I actually got it with this bag in mind, but I hadn't made this one yet. So now it is on here. And I already have a project. Sorry, I'm trying to see through my glasses. There. I already have a project in this now. It was actually intended for that project all along. I just had to make it. So, yeah, the stitching is not perfectly straight on the hems. My corners are not perfect. I've decided I have to think about it when I'm folding the corners, which direction it's going to slide into the machine, so that this edge is going into the foot this way, so that the foot's not catching and pulling it that way. But this is what happens. Sorry about the weird head angles. This is what happens when you're wearing old bifocal glasses, because your new glasses got another chip in the left lens and they had to send them off. Although this time they're now upgrading my lenses to the next level that I couldn't afford, because I've had so many problems with them chipping. Like, I had a chip out and then the lens was getting loose. So they're going to fix it for me. They said it should take 2 weeks. I'm hoping. Last time they said that it took them a week instead. Maybe that's why I got a chip in my lens this time. Who knows? Anyway, I am hoping that I don't have any more problems with my new glasses, because wearing old glasses sucks. I've actually been getting a headache, and I'm pretty sure it's because I'm wearing old glasses that aren't the right prescription anymore. So, but back to this. So, using this, I still have triangles of the other fabric that I used for my quilt that were left over, because I cut extras just in case, you screw something up or whatever. And so what I think I'm going to do is I think I am going to sew those together in kind of like a quilt-esque kind of thing, and then use the extra fabric to make a rectangle, and then cut it out and use that as a back, and make a project bag out of my leftover. Ooh, that is a terrible little knot. If I cut that, it's going to fray. But oh well. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for my use. Sorry, squirrel. But I love this fabric, and I think I'm going to take the rest of my quilt, my leftover fabric from my quilt, and make a project bag out of it. I have tons of stuff. Like, I had made a Christmas card holder for my grandma, and unfortunately it's gone now. Because when my mom was clearing everything out, she just let stuff go. So I didn't get this back. It was a Mrs. Claus, because my grandma got tons of Christmas cards, and I made a thing and you slide the Christmas cards in so that you can display them. I didn't get that back, but I have fabric left over from that project and a couple of other Christmas projects that I did. And so I keep buying new fabric too, like just the little half-quarter things, the little pre-packaged foldy ones. They're great for this size project. But I have all this leftover fabric. I don't even throw away my bed sheets that get a rip in them. What I do is I save them, and then when I'm going to foam mount, like if I'm framing a project and I'm going to foam mount it so that the backboard doesn't press the stitches through over time, I take a piece of my old spreadsheet, or bed sheet, not spreadsheet, and I cut out a piece and I put that behind my stitching so that over time the foam doesn't poke out through the holes in the cross stitch fabric. So, you reduce, reuse, recycle. Also, it's cheap because I already paid for it. And, if it's a little bit dingy or whatever, it doesn't matter because it's not showing through. It's just to keep foam stuff from poking through. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I've got some pillowcases that I should just put some interfacing in, put a zipper in, and use them for some bigger projects. But yeah, my one fully finished object this week. I, however, did get a ton of work on a bunch of different stuff. So I knew when I got back to summer that I would get a lot of more stitching done because I didn't have papers to grade, wasn't working full time, etc. But until this week happened, even with summer school, the amount of stitching that I've got done this week seems so much more than what I was getting done before. That's even with stopping to do grown-up stuff like chores, which I don't want to do chores. I'm tired of being a grown-up, but I am a grown-up and I have to do them. So I am going to share with you the stuff that I've worked on this week. I used my weeklies, and mostly I focused on my Pride challenges for the month. I know some people apologize for drinking. I'm not going to. It's a necessary human function. All right, so the first thing I worked on this week was Shawshank Redemption. I have done about 20 of these at this point. It is on 11 count ivory Aida. It is by SS Prop Designs. You can buy the pattern to stitch it yourself, or you can buy a finished one stitched by me. I used this for 3 Pride challenges and 1 weekly challenge. So this got about 1,700 stitches this week. The Pride challenges I used it for were brown, because what it is we're doing the colors of the Pride flag. So brown's inclusivity, red is life, and green is nature. And then for my weekly, this was the one that project that's likely to give you a mental breakdown. And the only reason I say this one's likely to give me a mental breakdown is because I've done it so many times. And I used to want this in my house, not so much anymore. So I am not working this the way I usually do. I usually do the words, then I do the green, then I do the border. But because I had to get certain colors, I had already had the words done. So then I had the red, and I worked my way around the border until I got to my 500. Then I went to the brown and the green. And then for my weekly, I did this corner over here, the green and the red inside the frame. So yes, his judgment cometh and right soon. Fake Bible verse that was in Shawshank Redemption behind the warden's desk in the movie. I don't know where they found it. I don't know if they found, like, I should look that up sometime because I never have. I don't know if they created the sampler for the movie or if they found a sampler in an antique shop, then it just seemed perfect and they used it. I should really look that up in the trivia at the movie. Of course, I don't know if that's trivia they would actually have listed in the movie trivia because that's such a niche piece of trivia. But then they put some really strange pieces of trivia in movies. There are only 4 colors to that project. As I said, I can do those in a week and a half if I work on nothing else. But obviously I want to work on other things, and there's no active order for that, although he is anticipating some more this summer. Next project is Sapita by Maroomy Designs, in case you need a finish. Now, when Maroomy designed this, the part that is listed in white here is what you were supposed to stitch. I am not doing that. I am doing the stuff that is in blue. I am stitching the blue. So I'm doing the stuff that was the negative space for the original design. So this is where I got to. This was another one. I used this for a pride stitch for yellow. So with the pride stitches, you can either stitch in the color or on fabric of that color. So I got about 500 stitches in her this week, and yellow is the sun, and the mountains are in now. I got back up over here into her hair. I finished the sun. So yeah, she's looking beautiful. This is on 32 count Yellowstone by Bling Designs, which I have met them when I went to Black Cat Stitchery in Wisconsin because they now own it. They were very nice, very helpful. And I am doing it, let's see, I can never remember the name. This is DMC 4240. It's a variegated thread. It's called Midsummer Night. And I picked it because, to me, the colors look like when the sun's going down, and it's not full dark, but close. And you get those blues and purples in the night sky and kind of like the lines. And that's what I'm kind of going for here. So I am doing full cross on this. I'm going across. I'm not doing it 1X at a time. I wanted the super stripey. And I like it is very tiny stitches, so you can't really see the under stitch. However, it's really subtle because a teeny tiny bit, so it gives you a little bit of that shading. But I wanted the stripey, so I'm going straight across and back across. and I didn't want it to be like uniform. I wanted the colors to kind of jump around because that's what it looks like in the night sky. So I am doing all the way across and then back. And I'm trying to break it at like the edge of her skirt or the stem of the pomegranate. Is it a tree or a bush? I'm not sure. So yes, that is what I'm doing here. So I did her for the sun on yellow fabric, and she is so pretty. My husband thinks her mouth is adorable. He's like, she's got such a cute little mouth. All right, now this one I did not get much done on. I almost didn't show this next one because I literally maybe got 20 stitches in since you saw it last. So this is Treasure Map by Jenny Barton. It was in a cross stitch design magazine. This is what it'll look like when it's done. It is from issue 278 of the World of Cross Stitching, which is March 2019. I started this on May 6th of this year. I am doing it on 14 count pecan by Fabric Flair, and I still have enough of this to do another project on. And there's only 20 colors in this, and I'm doing 2 and over 1. It does have like the little partial stitches, so I do have to poke the thread. So I took this with me. My husband wanted to go to urgent care. He was having some problems with his ears. He wanted to be checked for an ear infection. Turns out that he just had some drainage. And we're trying some allergy meds to dry that crap up, and it seems to be working, and he feels much better. But it was the fastest trip to the doctor ever. So when he was thinking about maybe going, I went, and our urgent care has a thing that lets you know on their website how long the wait is, and it says 35 minutes or less. There was no one in the waiting room when we got there. We signed in. It took them like 2 minutes to come get us. The nurse took his vitals, had the little, I think it was a physician's assistant. I don't think it was even like a full doctor. He looked in his ears. He's like, no, your ears are clear. I don't know. And so now he's got some Flonase, and he's supposed to take Claritin to just dry it up. Apparently, like, the tube here is swollen, and it's just causing it to feel icky. So I just added a little bit into the island's landmass, and I know you're thinking, oh wait, the pecan blends with the thing, but all of it's going to be backstitched, so it will not be a problem that the island is close. But I thought the pecan kind of looked like old weathered paper. So yeah, I didn't get much done at all because I barely could get this out, like, to wait for the doctor, and then it was time to put it up because it was time to go. And then we went and got the medicine, and it was fine. But yeah, so there we go. A very tiny bit of progress on Treasure Map by Jenny Barton. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I just like treasure maps and maps in general. And I like the fact that there's like a sea monster octopus in the swamp, and we got a volcano, and it is probably going to go with my nautical stuff. When I wanted to start it, I was still being a librarian, and I thought it would be cool to hang it up in my library, but I don't have a library, although I did see popping up still a few library jobs. But right now I'm going to stick with the job that I have because Minneapolis just laid off 400 people in their school district. So I'm going to stick with the job that I have and try to keep it at least for the next 2 years to get through the next few years. All right, so next is Puppy Came Back by Haunted Frames. I started this on May 23rd. This is going to be a memorial piece for our dog, given to our child. I am doing this on, it says it's 25 count. It may have shrunk a little bit, or I ice dyed it, so it shouldn't have shrunk. It's 2 over 1 and 14 colors. And this is where I got. This was for blue, for dark blue, for the Stitchy Challenge. And I forgot to write down what blue stands for in the flag. Give me a sec. I'll put that down so I'm not wiggling it in your face. What does blue stand for? Oh, nope, that's the Frogworts stuff. Almost time for Frogworts, but not yet. All right, let me find out. I am sorry, I do not remember all of the symbolism of the flag for the... All right, blue is serenity, so you're supposed to stitch with a dark blue thread or on a dark blue fabric, and it didn't have to be solid. And the fabric's actually a little bit darker than this, but I'm okay with that. So 500, this thing got 500 stitches. Look at it. Look at the little puppy ghost. And there's a weekly prompt this week with a dog, and I did check, and partial dogs work, so I assume the head of a ghost dog and the paw of a regular dog will be sufficient. I've got some of my colors I need for this are hiding in another project. I will have to pull it out of that project. And then the bone is supposed to be empty. I am not going to try to put my dog's name in there. It is way too frickin' tiny. But I might put our dog's name down here when I am done. I am doing, the kitty came back as well in honor of her cat Fusa that passed. They passed within a year of each other. Fusa had a stroke and she was awake, but she couldn't move. So they had to put her to sleep. And that was like, that cat, the only person in our family that cat liked really was the kid. She liked me okay, was scared of everybody else, scared of the dog. Whereas our current cat misses the puppy. Although he was after the dog died, he would go into the dog's house, but once I washed all the dog's blanket, he didn't go in there anymore. I think he just wanted to be close to the doggy. So, yeah, that one is going to be so cute when it's done. Sorry. Dead Pets is a downer. I apologize. But it's part of life, and some days I really miss my dog. Anyway, next, Frogworks Year 5 by Black Needle Society. I started the whole project on May 2nd of last year. I started at the top with Year 1, and I skipped spaces, itchy nose, for the footprint, which I've been having terrible problems with the footprints. So I could get to Year 5, because that was in the middle, or close to the middle. So I had to work my way down so that I could get to Year 5 to start Year 5 for the project. And it's almost time for Year 6 to start. There's some cool motifs in Year 6. I know some people change some of the other motifs. I am considering seeing if I can find those adaptations for some of them. Like for Year 1, somebody put his is it Year 1? I think that was... No, that was Year 1. The Mirror Vera said. Somebody recharted the mirror that Black Needle did to include his parents in it. And then somebody in Year 4 added, what's her name? Crazy pink cat lady. Umbridge. And they dropped one of the other motifs and put Umbridge in because, you know, she's such a key part of the book. But neither here nor there. I am getting distracted. So, I used this for blue, or not blue. This was for 2 prompts for my weeklies. It has to have shoes in it, and 2 versions of the same thing. So, this is Luna's shoe. And then we've got multiple of these ears. And then we even have the Weasley twins, who are identical. Let's turn it that way so you can actually see. So, I still need to go in and backstitch. Oh, there we go. I still need to go in and backstitch. I should have dropped that down a bit more. The awnings here, because I am not unpicking all that crap. But I've gotten most of the archway complete. I just have a little bit of this done. I am so close to finishing. Do you want to go back in and do a little bit of backstitching on Warp? His feet look like blocks. I want to do some French knot, a French knot in each eye to give him some thing. I'm thinking I need to give him a nose. He needs like a backstitch nose. And I used metallics for the bike handle. So yeah, there's a hangy thing for this ear and this ear that I need to do. And then all I have left is this. So I'm really hoping to finish that this week. Because June 29th is the day we can officially start year 6, because you get bonus points for finishing. So I want to finish this. It would be the first year I finished out of the Frogworks, but since last year was my first year, I think it's appropriate that that's the first one I finished. So yeah. Ugh. I am so sorry. I noticed the camera's getting dim and going in and out like that. It's because I don't have, I have my blinds on my wall that's a window open. However, it's gray and cloudy out, so I'm having a harder time with the lighting than normal. I have all of my other lights on. But there's no overhead light in our living room. For some reason, that was a fad for a while, where they never put a light in the middle of your living room. There's a little dining area over here, and I have those lights on. I have my stitchy lamp, and then I have 2 floor lamps that are knick-knack stands. And usually I get more light from here, from the weather, but it's cloudy today. Alright, next, Wisdom by Hade, art by Cherry Gerhardt. This was my this is my unfinished May Whip Go call. I did 200 stitches on it for the prompt Change Your Mind. I love the finished art. I think it's beautiful. It's a gift for my kid, but I don't really enjoy stitching on it. So I'm like, I need to finish it, but I don't want to. And so that's one reason I made it a Whip Go. It's not helping as much as I had hoped. I think it's partly because there's so much left to do on it. And this is probably one of my oldest whips, because I started this in August of 2021. It's on 25 count Lugan. I am doing it 2/1, which is, I know, one of the problems. But as thick as what I've already done is, I know if I switch to like 1/1, there will be a glaring, obvious change. So I am not. I worked down in here in the raven's head. This is a breast of another bigger raven, and then this is actually the edge of the bigger raven's beak. But I got to fill in some of that raven's head. So just a little over 200 stitches. I think what I need to do is, this week I'm gonna try something new with how I'm doing my challenges versus my weeklies. Last week I didn't do any of the week before last I didn't do any of the weeklies. I just focused all on the challenge stitching. But now I'm going to change that a little bit, because I've got most of my challenge stitching done. But I think it looks beautiful. It's a bit thick and sometimes hard to push through, but I like pointed needles anyway. I don't like the blunt end needles. I never really use them unless they come with the kit and anything. But, alright, next! Oh my gosh, I've done so much stitching this week. Next is What Lies Beneath by Charting Creations, and see if this works. I tried it out, and before it worked just fine. Here is what it will look like when I'm finished. Ooh. Nope, wrong thing. Go back, go here, view mock-up. That is what it will look like. It used to be on a different, oh, that's not too bad, glare-wise. It used to be on a different thing, and it, who had it before? Pain Free Crafts had it before. But I got it, somebody was nice enough to help me, and I apologize, I don't remember who you were, to help me find it on Charting Creations, because apparently artists switch charting companies fairly often, which is strange to me. They're doing a good job charting your stuff, why would you switch? But maybe they're looking for a better deal. I don't know. So this I picked for this week because it was something that inspired me. I think it's a beautiful piece, and it inspires me to help the oceans and everything like that. There's an octopus documentary that I still need to watch, because it is on my list of things. It was only just a little over 200 stitches. I thought about finishing the thread, but there were other things I wanted to work on. I started this on 5/20. It is on 32 count white linen, and I'm doing it 1/1. There are 108 colors. And I finally got my 798 so I could do the top left corner. I had counted, there were a few of this other color in here that's down here, and I counted over and then down from there. But they are now hiding in the 798. And it looks so exciting at this point, doesn't it? Yes, I think it will be gorgeous when it is done. But that is my teeny tiny little progress. I admit I have been having a hard time working on some of the stuff because there's things calling to me, but I still want to do my challenges. But that's the point, right, of the challenges, is to get you to work on stuff that isn't necessarily calling you. Although two of the things that are calling me fit the prompts for next week, or for this week, because I can start on it today because it's Monday. We got our password this morning bright and early. So I'm ready to go. All right. Next is the It's All by Robin Allen, also called A Stitch in My Side on Etsy. I started this on July 6th. It's on 22 count white. I think it's Ada. It looks Ada-y. And it is 44 colors, 2/1. This went with the weekly prompt. Has a clown in it. And you will actually notice that I have less done than I did before. That's because when I originally stitched the bathroom sink, I did 2 rows of this red center here, and it was only supposed to be 1. The pattern is shaded, has 2 lines shaded on the top and the left of the pages where they connect, but it is very, 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 very light. And I didn't see it. So actually what I did for my 200 stitches was I frogged the bottom of the mummy, the bird, and the legs. I had some legs over here, and then the base of this. And so that was like 183 stitches. And then I put in another 27 stitches back towards. So I'm a little bit less than what I had before. But the nice thing is that Fandom Stitching Central counts frogging as stitches as long as you take a beginning photograph and an ending photograph, because I have been avoiding working on this because I didn't want to frickin' frog it. I was just annoyed and didn't want to deal with it, and I have too many other things that I could be adding stitches in. So since it fit a prompt this week, I took the opportunity to motivate myself with the points that I would get for frogging to get it done. All right. Last whip for you this week. I have not finished my goal for it yet. I started this started working on it for pink for the Pride Challenge for sex. Yes, I let that hang there on purpose. And I have not started any of the personal side, like there's writing a poem. Sex is like a poem or something about intimacy or learning about a healthy relationship practice or things like that. I haven't done any of that stuff yet. I've just focused on the stitching. I do plan on doing some of them. I will probably not be writing a short story or a poem, especially not a poem. But this is the Cutesy Friends Cell by Creatively Crafting. I'm doing this one because it is on some fabric that I dyed, and it has pink on the fabric, and you did not have to have a solid pink piece of fabric. I thought about using this for orange because that's another one of the colors, but I do not have 500 stitches left in my little bear, Tenderheart bear there. So I filled in the tummy and the heart. I have not counted up my stitches. I started the back stitch. So I don't know how, but I'm supposed to do 500 on this. So I will work on that after I do some chores. And I've decided what I'm going to do with these is for my challenges, since I'm almost done with the challenges. I only have like 3 or 4 colors. I'm going to work on a 500 point challenge for the monthly, and then I'm going to work on my weekly stitches, because I got 4 of my weeklies done on Saturday after work. Because I only worked till, I didn't work on Saturday. I worked on Sunday till 10. But I got almost all my weeklies done in like a day, now that I'm not working. So I think that's what I'm going to do with the monthly challenges. I haven't been doing the monthly challenges for the most part because a lot of the regular monthly challenges are like 1,000 stitches, 1,500, and I'm really kind of trying to work on a bunch of different projects. So I focus on the weeklies, and then I might do some of the monthlies on addition. This also counts towards my SAL task, so I will double dip into that because this is a SAL. This is the Friends and the Friends show font combined with Care Bears. So I know that Friends is very 90s, but Care Bears is very 80s. So I felt that this fabric was perfect for the Care Bears. So that is all of my stitching. I am going to do a little bit of chores like laundry when I'm done here, and then I will work back on this while I watch some more Flosstube, because while I was doing summer school, I didn't really get to watch Flosstube because of when I had to leave, and most episodes were too long to watch in the mornings before work. And then when I get home, my husband's up, and you know, I want to spend time with him during the summer, especially since I don't get as much time with him during the school year. All right, so plans. Weeklies, I think I'm going to do one weekly a day and then work on my monthlies. And then if I get more time, work on one of my whip goes. I need to do 4 days of cliffhanger yet for this month for whip go. I have to finish, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. The personal parts of challenges, I will do some of those, probably not all of them. They're only worth 1 point. The stitching's worth 5. The colors I have left is orange, which means healing. I'm probably going to use, I think it's year 3 from Frogwarts, because there's a bunch of orange on the bottom. Turquoise, which stands for art and magic. I think I am going to use Dragons of the Sabbat for that one. It is, you know, the Wiccan holidays, of course, and the fabric's light blue, which they're letting you use turquoise / light blue because I think there's a blend there. And then purple, which is spirit. And I picked something for purple. What did I pick for purple? Oh, rare horror flies. I'm going to get back to working on my rare horror flies. So get 500 stitches in on that because it's got purple in the fabric. And since it doesn't have to be solid, that works. I need to finish up one more day for wisdom, although I didn't work on it for a full day, but I did work on it for a day. Got 200 stitches in. So I got to do one more day of that. I've got 4 days of cliffhanger. So I do need your help with Frogwarts. Most of the prompts for the Frogwarts challenges will be covered by either year 6 or one of the other years in the project, okay? However, there are 3 things that I could not find. A date. I need a pattern with a date on it. I would prefer something small. I probably have something in my stash in a magazine. But if you have any suggestions for a pattern with a date, it needs to be an officially published pattern. That's the rules. I can't create my own. It can't be something that somebody creates for me. It has to have been published before they released the list of challenges, which was like back in April. A teardrop. Now, it doesn't have to be an actual tear. It just needs to be a straight up teardrop shape, which I'm pretty sure I should just dig through my magazines and see what I can find. But if you have any really awesome suggestions, I would love to hear them. And then the challenging one. This is the hardest one. So they have a thing where if it has quotes around it, you have to have that exact thing in the pattern. So there are 3 words, and it needs to be one of these 3 words. So if you know of a really good pattern with one of these words in it, and it has to be this version of the word. So like the first word is, one of the words is determination. It can't be determined. It has to be determination. Okay, so the 3D words that I'm looking for: destination, determination, or deliberation. Excuse me. If you know of any pattern that has one of those 3 words in it, can you please let me know? I need to do some searching myself, but it would be really nice if you guys help me out finding one, and then I will share what you guys find with the people at Frogwords. All right, so who I've been watching this week. As I said, I didn't get much time to watch. I'm still catching up with Nautalota Stitches. I've just gotten up to, she's about to start her 14 Days of Valentine's. So I'm almost up to modern and current times. We Scott in Yorkshire. Allie, I wanted to thank you for the nice shout out, and I am glad my suggestion helped. I hope that it works for you. And then right before this, I watched an episode of Stuart in Stitches. He's always a good time. I admit part of it's the Scottish accent. Love a good Scots accent. Irish and English too. So Australian. I just like a good accent. What do you want? As always, he's got beautiful projects. He makes such lovely bags. I can tell he's very talented at making bags. I might have to reward myself with one of his bags when I finish my college courses and get my bachelor's degree in earth science education. That'll be a few years from now. So that's really all the Flosstube I got in this week with summer school. You would think since I have less time, or since I have less hours, that it would be easier for me to watch Flosstube. But no, my husband gets up at about the time I get home. So I get home, I settle down, I maybe make my lunch, and then the husband's up and it's time. During the school year, I could watch Flosstube before I went to work, because I didn't leave till 6:30 in the morning, so I could do all my morning stuff, watch an episode of Flosstube, then go to work. I didn't get to do that with summer school. All right, so that is all the cross-stitchy stuff. If that's all you're here for, please feel free to have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube-y things. So what I've been reading and watching. Finished up Dungeon Crawler Carl 5. Now we are on to book 6, The Bedlam Bride. Very exciting, still funny, but the stuff is getting more intense. We're getting more into the politics of the universe and the aliens that are doing this to the human race. And apparently it just gets more and more that way. What else? I am listening to Alien Phalanx by Scott Ziegler, which is a story of a planet that is not Earth dealing with an infestation of the aliens. What else? Am I reading anything else? I've got a Doctor Who on my list. And I'm just finishing up the Alien one, which I only have about 2.5 hours left. So I'm probably going to put my headphones in while I do chores and pop that on. As for watching, we've been doing a lot of rewatching this summer. Stargate, SG-1, one of my favorite TV shows. Doing a rewatch of that. We are also working our way through the Marvel movies. I think we're up to like Winter Soldier, Iron Man 3, somewhere in there. My son-in-law is also taking a film communications class. So we've been watching some old movies. I missed watching 12 Angry Men, which I haven't seen yet, and I really should watch that. Last night we watched Paths of Glory from 1977. It was one of Kubrick's early films, starring Kirk Douglas, about the French military. It's actually still banned in France because it makes the French military look really, really, really bad. It was good though. And then rewatched Citizen Kane, which I hadn't seen since high school. I can see why I found it boring in high school. I appreciate it much more now that I'm an adult. I mean, it was beautifully shot, but as a 16-year-old, whoa, it went right over my head. The importance of the things. Excuse me. And then my husband got to choose something to watch last night for Father's Day. And he chose A Clown in the Cornfield, which is a horror comedy. Learned last night it was based on a book. It is a YA horror book, which is now on my request list at my library, and I'm 17th in line for the audiobook. So, but it was fun. There's some really good actors in it. It was gory. It was fun. It was insane. Cornfields are creepy. If I didn't think so before, like horror movies have made them so. Children of the Corn, stuff like that. Sorry, the ice maker just made a weird noise. That's about all I got this week. Thank you for spending some time with me. I enjoyed hanging out with you. Again, feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you have any suggestions for patterns to fit those prompts. I would love them. Sorry, I'm doing a weird hand talky thing. I'm going to put my hand down now. I hope you have a wonderful week and get some great progress on your stitching. May today be kinder to you than yesterday, and tomorrow be kinder to you than today. Have a great week. Bye.